Just put that
You
down.
don't have to, yeah. So as everything goes in my life, I'm always running into the why didn't I plan for this earlier, thing. And we're sitting in the podcast room right now, and the podcast room is booked out. So we're not going to shoot a podcast today. But in the meantime, I am going to sit around and talk until we leave out and go to this other room.
There's so many laptops in this room.
I know there's a lot of laptops. This should not be called the podcast room. It should be called the laptop room, apparently. Today we have our favorite intern on the set, Apollo, which is short for Apollo. And at the end of the day, we are all about inspiring the youth. And when we come across interesting, top quality youths, we like to make sure that we also give them their props. Now, you may know, the people that are in my life and how I prop them up so much and how they support the things that I do. And, my ace is JJ Love. And I'm being honored by the presence of her mini-me. So, Apollo, would you say what's up to the peeps, and have a seat? Come on. So, I want y'all to know that this art mob thing isn't age discriminate. All right, I'm just trying to say that if you have value, no matter how old or young you think you are. And when we spot value as an adult, you need to make sure that you encourage it, you acknowledge it, and let them know that this is something for them as well. And I would like to say, Apollo. Hello, Apollo. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good.
Cool stuff. It's good. She didn't even think she was going to be on camera today. So just how she shifted and moved in, that's the good, fun, loving part of it. So as I know Apollo mostly in her personal life, normally there's a book in her hand. So every time I see her, I like to ask, what are you reading today? Because, a lot of the imagination and the creativity that, many kids have today come from really dead brains, while we have these creative, amazing youths out there who are stimulating themselves with proper literature. So, Apollo, what are you reading today?
Well, technically two things. I'm in the middle of reading American Gods by Neil Gaiman, and I am rereading If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio.
Wow. I'm reading two books. One is called American Gods by who?
Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman. Shout out to Neil. The wildest thing about this, they made a series about it. We started watching it the other day at the ranch, and I fell asleep. But it started really good. Really good.
Have you seen Good Omens?
No, haven't even seen Good Omens.
Goodness,
Wait, hold up. The
that is
second
one of
book,
my favorite books.
the book that you're rereading is also a TV show? What's the second book?
No, the second book that I was reading is If We Were Villains.
If We Were Villains.
But
and this book is called
Good Omens.
Good Omens.
Is also by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Ooh. And it got adapted into a TV show, and I love that TV show.
Okay.
So much.
I'll
and
definitely
I love
check
the
that
book
out.
even more.
Well, I can tell you this much. This right here is not your everyday average 15-year-old, 16-year-old, okay? And I'm going to tell you this much. If you have the privilege of having a cool young person around and they're reading things and they're onto things, pay attention, because that will help you plan for where they are going to want to go to. Because I find that there's a lot of people or adults or entrepreneurs or people just further along the timeline feel that the learning should just go one way. It's not back and forth. It's not vice versa. I mean, how do you grow if you can't think of the things that you acquire and bring into your psyche as something that you can, put out. No need to bring in things into you if you can't grow from it. So yeah. Wow. Well, 2 books. Wow. I mean, I'm always reading articles. I read a lot of articles. I read a lot of blockchain stuff, a lot of NFT stuff, tons of NFT stuff. And I don't find much time to read and these are fictional books, or these non-fictional books. I don't find too much time to read fictional books, but the beauty about teaming up with the youth, especially if you're an adult, is they still have their creativity. They still have their, the way they look at the world is still not as jaded as, but the thing is, they still look at the world with the eyes of possibilities. And as I look at the eyes of possibilities, but still, I'm a battle-tested, dude running around out there. But at the end of the day, we are supposed to take the time to drop seeds, plant seeds, have empathy, and keep a space for those that are evolving into this space. So if you have the ability to be around some humans, some young humans who want to listen to you or who choose to see you eye to eye, hopefully you're giving them some good knowledge. It's pretty important. So now, let's get down to the nitty gritty, why we're here today. Okay, so NFTs, right? Obviously, you already know that between that one out there and myself, there's a lot of those three letters. You hear a lot. You hear a lot. Have you been fed up with the amount that you've heard about NFTs yet?
It's depends. It does become kind of a here we go again moment whenever my mother meets somebody and starts the conversation off with, do you know about NFTs? It's like, well, you're about to. Got to know maybe a little too much, but this is when I pull out my book. I know we're going to be here for a while.
So that's why you have two books. It's like,
I might finish one. You never know.
Hey, and these books are huge, so you can understand like how we definitely. I mean, it's never a 2-minute conversation with anybody when I find out that they never heard about NFTs before, and then obviously our enthusiasm and excited as we get, it also attracts people as well. Plus, we're good storytellers. We explain well, and we're very passionate about the space and what it could provide. But it is funny. I can definitely see that. Because it's been me too. Like people walk along with me. I'm like, oh, you haven't heard about NFTs, eh? Let me tell you something. And then everybody that's with me,
a bunch of NFTs.
I was like, check this out.
Bunch of links and codes.
So it's like
even the back of your T-shirt
I know,
has
right?
a QR code right now.
So it's like, yes, but the thing is for sure, and why I cherish your mother so much is because we live that. You know what I mean? She lives that. It's not just we have an idea and we're trying to like funnel it along. No, we're like everything we look at is or could be in the metaverse, NFT, or be innovated on at some way, shape, or form, because we're also into agriculture, we're also into health, wellness, mental focus. So there's a whole plethora of things that those three letters can all encompass. And, when you're around two creative people that can kind of see everything like that, actually, more or less, two people that came back from the future, and we're like, yeah, nah. So I can definitely understand why. And I often tell her, I'm like, there's going to be a point in time that I'm never going to want to say those letters again. You know what I mean? Because I say it way too much. So I'm trying to find new ways to talk about it while meaning it, but not necessarily saying those three letters. Wow. Okay. So.
Oh no.
What?
I lost my ring. I don't know where my ring is.
Okay. Ring alert. No. Ring alert. Is it in the car?
No, I wouldn't have taken it off in the car.
Okay.
I probably took it off while I was at the house.
There we go. So you didn't even leave the house with it. All right, good.
Oh
good.
my God.
Ring is found.
There at home.
Ring is safe.
Maybe.
Ring is at home.
I gotta stop losing things. First, Gilbert, my frog.
Okay. So when we talk about these type of, hold on, these animals, you know, oh,
My son.
there we go, you are back,
Gilbert.
back.
That precious.
Oh man,
Got it
I
in
tell
my
you,
pocket.
there's something about everyone has Apple products, right? So you end up
Oh,
either
but
having
does everybody have a frog though?
well, okay, that's what's the thing. And you know the thing about the frog, what happened was
What had happened
was I found the frog, the cord, and I knew that it was possessions of your mother's, right? And there was all of us in the house.
which she took from me.
I
I found that I was at home. I was looking. My frog. Mom's charger's still here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then I knew.
Then I knew it was gone.
And then I called her to warn her that I would find her. And
So
I would find
then-
the person that took it.
So then
If
when I
she
heard
ended up
that
selling.
and I saw that, let me tell you something. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Your mother had that cord so reckless in places and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I know that everyone in this house has Apple products. And we all have extra cords and stuff. And cords tend to, move on. So I'm going to put this in a safe space. So I rolled it up and I put it into my bag. And I held on to it right next to my heart. Because I knew that cord and that frog was special. I knew it. I smelt it. No doubt, all day, 100%. So the frog has returned to its owner. Frog has returned to its home. And I am very happy that I was able to facilitate, as I knew that it was a very important frog. And yeah, so then we packed up and left. Did we tell you that we stayed at a ranch?
I think I might have heard it at some point.
Yeah. We stayed at a Texas ranch. It was a Texas flex, I call it. The entire barn was filled. You see how all of these records? Mm-hmm. Now just think heads. You see how all of these heads on it? But these are animal heads. Oh yeah, it was a Texas flex. Hard body.
I still have a memory of going to visit my grandmother's brother. It was like one of those distant relatives that you never really see, and I only saw him once.
Oof.
He's passed on now.
Okay.
And so I only saw him that once, and it's just I have such bizarre memories of that trip because one of the only things I remember is going outside and roasting marshmallows in a fire, and there was a field of corn and pine trees and a sunset, and it was one of those like movie type scenes. It was beautiful. There was fireflies. That was nice. Okay. And then I remember
what town was this?
having to lay down. It was somewhere either near or in Iowa, I think.
Iowa. Damn.
Yeah. We road tripped the whole way there.
It's really interesting. I don't know. I really don't. I love hearing about your guys' lives because, when two people meet each other, you can meet from tons of different ways, right? A lot of people out there in the world meet more say, hey, this is me. Hey, this is me, type of thing. Your mother and I met just by voice, right? Because it was the beginning of COVID, so it was we were all on Clubhouse, right? So we're on Clubhouse together for literally 2 months straight, type of thing. So, we're all influencing each other and hearing each other and stuff, and you end up building up a friendship.
It was always going on. There was always people talking.
Always. Constantly talking. And then we almost, let's see, it's almost 1 year. Almost 1 year since we met each other, right? And but the thing is with her, it was we had already known each other, so then by the time we physically met, it was just always yeah, of course, we're cool and chill. But the thing is about that is the only real lane we knew each other on was in our NFT space. We didn't really know too much about each other's lives.
Yeah.
So certain things all of the stuff just kind of pops up interesting, cool.
That happened a lot with my online friends where we've only talked through text, and normally the conversation starts off with me saying, you want to see some pictures of frogs?
Who
Seeing if I get a response. Most of the time it is yes.
Frogs
And then
win.
I send a bunch of frog pictures, and then I see if we continue talking or not.
If you are down with the frogs, you're down with us.
Yes.
Okay?
Now
So-
I have had friends for like 2 to 3 years from that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, man, look.
It is kind of funny though, because I ended up meeting one of them. Their name is Jules, and they're actually coming to visit, and I'm so excited.
Wait, Jules is coming to visit?
Yes.
What is it, like a female Jules or a guy Jules? That doesn't
A
matter.
non-binary Jules.
Ooh. All right, y'all. You heard that right now. Now we're getting schooled right now by the young bucks, because guess what? They're not about all of those boxes that you want people to live in. Understand? And this is why it's important to have these kind of interactions. That way you stay on point. Because look, and I have an older daughter than you. My daughter's 24. And she lives in South Korea, right? Now she's fully Jamaican, grew up in Brooklyn. Mother's Jamaican, I'm Jamaican, all good. And went to boarding school at 12, so she's been away on her own for a while. And then she came back, graduated, and was on some, all right, let's reconnect. You know what I mean? You haven't really been here as my father. And it's not like I want a father, but you're my guy, so let's rock. So I'm like, all right. But then I'm thinking, like, all right, hold on. I was like, babe, you know I love you, right? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, but you're going to have to go get lost for like 4 or 5 years and come back interesting. Because you're not going to cancel me. You know, the thing is, and that's the thing, you know, like, whether you raise a child or not, generationally, a lot of people feel that when I learn something in my generation, that's where it's supposed to be, or that's all I'm supposed to have. Meanwhile, how do you stay relevant within generations? How do you stay by keeping up to date with the new information? You know, like you can't run around doing the foxtrot when everybody else is doing the friggin' Running Man, or, you know, or doing the stanky leg or whatever dances they do nowadays. You know that? No. Okay.
Oh, I know it.
Okay.
2016 was a nightmare for me. That song haunted me They made us do it in music class.
The stanky leg.
All I wanted to do was practice our instruments and stuff. But no, they're like, we're going to do a special dance. And the whole class did it, and I refused to participate. Teacher was like, you have to do this, you know. I was like, no, I don't. Are you going to send me to the principal's office for not dancing, sir? No, you are not. Especially because I'm the best student you have here. So.
Ooh. Mic drop.
It's only because I'm good with teachers, so I end up being able to get away with more stuff. Because they like me.
Guess whose daughter she is? Does that, okay, all right, we will. There we go. All right. So, yeah, the team is strong. Like,
that is the one difficult thing about homeschool. I don't talk to my teachers as much. Makes it a lot more boring. I went to public school once again for middle school. I did like half a year. We were doing homeschool, and then the winter of 2019 we decided to enroll me into regular school for that next semester. And then COVID happened immediately after, and I just went right back to homeschool. So it felt pretty pointless. I had maybe 3 weeks in that school. But already all the teachers liked me. And I ended up passing all of those classes after we went to, like, the online school. Whenever they tried to make it, I passed all of those classes very well, even though I maybe did 2 assignments. Just because the teachers liked me.
What the? You brought apples? Okay, so.
Literally, I kid you not. I had an English teacher, and I would bring apples every day to class. And he would bring apples every day, too. And so one day, I brought him an apple. And, you know, that's how we became friends. He let me sleep during class one day.
Okay,
Didn't
guys,
even wake me up.
You see what we're talking about here? Look, be nice to people, and sometimes you get a little leeway. But trust me on this. She's not everyone. So a lot of you guys can't do things like this. She's homeschooled. She's around a brilliant, you know, genius of a person, of a mother. She has the DNA, and she's living at a point in time when she has access to so much information, and she's not lazy. And you know what I mean? Listen, At 15, 16, I'm sure she's lazy. But with all of that being said, her energy is being put into the right places that are accelerating what is to be. Now, when we started this thing, we did say that people were supposed to come in here and use it. I think they booked out the place. And
why did we come in here?
We're just here bogarting because that's how we do. I'm a gangster. What's wrong?
Yeah.
But I think.
I mean, I'm chill with it, but.
I know, yeah. We gangsters in here. Man. Houston is too nice for us. You know, like they say, yes.
I like Houston.
You know, I'm from the Bronx, man. I'm a Jamaican from the Bronx. They're like, yo, man, take that. Go on. But I think people are looking in here mainly because of our hats. I think so. I think people are.
I keep grabbing for my ring.
Yo, what? Oh, your ring.
It's
a
fidget.
Wig.
It's a fidget. My ring is a fidget, and now I don't have my ring. It feels wrong. I don't know what to do.
That's what I was noticing. So, thanks for bringing this up. So you're telling me that you have a bit of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay. How does that make you feel? When does that come up?
Anxious.
Let's talk about that. Anxious like I need to get the heck out of here, or anxious like I wish I had some more energy, or anxious like, wow, this is you're making me feel uncomfortable.
The first one and the last one mainly.
All right.
Most of the time, I just need to do something. I don't even have my knitting. I want my knitting.
Why don't you ever try concentrate on breathing? Do you meditate?
It stresses me out more.
Breathing stresses you out more?
No, meditating, because it's like, you're going to sit here, and you're going to relax, and rest here.
Why you got to say it in a voice like that?
Okay, we're going to sit
you
here. See? We're going to relax, and now my thoughts are screaming in my head, and I need music or something that's not.
Man.
It stresses me out, man.
You don't understand how good this is for your life. You know what? I think we have to leave, because I think people are circling around like, let us look in here again. Maybe they're done. All right, y'all. Listen. This is something that all you guys should also do at home. As a mentor, it doesn't really matter age, but if you're giving good advice and you're getting good advice and you're having communication, then that's all that matters. It doesn't have to be good or bad. It just has to be something that you do. Because for this thing to really make sense, you know, especially when we talk about NFTs, and we didn't talk much about NFTs today, but the thing is this, if this is really going to make sense to all of you old heads out there, and even all of you young heads out there, find somebody on the other side and come together every once in a while. Once a week, holding a little mentorship group, you know, makes sense. Big brother, big sister, all these things, you know, help and work, because you never know. You may be able to give knowledge, but even more so, you may be able to get some knowledge. So I would like to thank Apollo Love from being here with us today and giving us the insights on the mind of a 15-year-old. You know, some people might say I'm a 15-year-old, but I'm just a little bit bigger. But definitely a real 15-year-old with a real view, you know, a different view of the world. So, you know, one of the things that we're going to definitely be looking at here over the years, we're going to, you know, watch your growth, watch what you do with yourself, and hopefully we'll be able to, you know, give you some great opportunities to highlight all the cool things that you do. All right?
It was fun being with you.
Fun being with you. Yeah. Deuces, y'all. Art Mob, you know, this is where we sit and we talk to the culture about blockchain, NFTs, and using that to build freedom strategies that mint culture and create legacy for you and yours at home. And look, at the end of the day, we all add to this. So know where you're getting yours from and give it to the next person. Never hold it for yourself. You hold it, you pass it on. Each one teach one. That's what Art Mob is all about. So until our next episode, we out of here. Deuces.